Hi, I'm Sean Bell, and today we're going to talk about Emperor Commodus, the Donald Trump of the Roman Empire.
Yay! Boo! wait, boo.
So to set up this story, during the height of the Roman Empire, the Pax Romana, the emperors, to decide their successor, their son would succeed them, but their son, wasn't their son. It was like, I am the emperor, and you, sir, are my friend and a member of the Senate, and you've served as a legate, a general of the legions, and a proconsul, and you've got all these qualifications. I adopt you as my son. And okay, cool, I am now your son, and now I will inherit the empire. And that person would inherit the empire.
Cool.
And through that way, they had a succession of very successful, stable emperors. This is why it's the height of the Roman Empire. They, and it's a series of emperors for about 100 years of these very solid emperors, names you probably know. Trajan, Hadrian. We get to these guys, and Emperor Commodus, I should say, he is, you already know him. He is the emperor in the movie Gladiator. Mm-hmm. He is Joaquin Phoenix. He's the son of...
is this the Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the son of the... But Gladiator is like 10% real, so... Forget everything you know now about that.
Okay.
He is the natural-born son of Marcus Aurelius, who is sort of the last of these considered good emperors. He'll be the first emperor in like 100 years to be like the biological son of the previous emperor. He's the first emperor, what the Romans call to be born in the purple, which I know might be a euphemism, sounds like a kinky sex move or something, but it just means that he was born during his father's reign. So his father's already emperor when he's born.
Purple is a royal color back then.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
Rich people could afford purple.
So, he's born in the purple. His father's already emperor. He grows up in luxury. He doesn't really do anything as a kid. He shows up when his father's on campaign and gets some commendations for having been in battle or whatever. His father dies. It's about 180 AD. Emperor Commodus takes over. He's like 19 years old. He's a dude bro. He has no interest in actually running the empire.
Does he have a fucked up lip?
No, he's actually regarded as very handsome.
Oh.
He's handsome and athletic. But he doesn't care about actually governing. That's work. So he's just leaving that out there. And during his reign, he was actually regarded as very peaceful because he didn't go off and fight wars. And you might think, oh, that's good. He wasn't a warmonger. But in fact, we've got a Roman Empire. We built this. You kind of got to maintain it. There's barbarians coming over the Rhine and the Danube, and the Persians are doing shit. And no, screw it. I don't care about those people. I'm doing my thing. And the what we call the domestic side, the civic management of the empire, he doesn't care about that either. He leaves that to a bunch of lackeys, and they're corrupt as can be. They're it's like a head chamberlain sort of takes over, and he's basically running the show, and there's people below him who are plotting to like take his place. They start a conspiracy trying to kill this chamberlain. That fails. One of them rats out the other and gets killed, and then the remaining one starts a new conspiracy, manages to take the guy out, but someone else behind him was in another conspiracy. It's just a whole series of backstabbing and Machiavellian moves.
Commodus doesn't give a fuck.
Commodus doesn't give a fuck about this. He's not running anything. Eventually, the latter half of his reign, a chamberlain named, I want to say his name is Cleander or something like that. All the Latin names sound the same. He ends up in charge. He is the corruptest of them all. Corruptuses of them all.
Corrupt eye.
The corrupt eye of them all. That's Latin, right?
Yeah.
He's basically selling positions. Like, you want to be proconsul? You want to be a legate? Legate's like a general. You want to be a tribune? Whatever. Bring me money. He sells all these administrative positions of the empire.
I'm not seeing the correlation with Trump here.
Commodus, he's he's not bothered with any of this because he's got other interests.
Tillerson. I'm just thinking Tillerson.
His main interests are basically drinking, whoring, and fighting. He's throwing lavish parties, opulent bacchanalia. He's got a harem, like massive harem, like 200 women and some men, because that's how the Romans roll. And they're not all even slaves either. He's like rolling through the streets or whatever, and he sees someone attract him. He's like,
I'll take that one.
I'm gonna grab that woman by the pussy. And she's part of my harem, and he can do that because if the emperor does it, it's not illegal.
Yeah, fucking A.
So and he's got all that. The biggest thing though is fighting. He imagines himself, he's very athletic, and because he's a young guy in charge, he imagines himself to be the reincarnation of Hercules. And he has statues put up with him, like basically performing the 12 great tasks of Hercules, like sort of commemorating as if that were him. He actually fights in the arena.
No.
Not like you see in the movie.
Yeah.
What happens is he would stage massive games. He would go out there. Oftentimes he was just fighting wild animals. There'd be a lion, a giraffe he killed at one point.
Come on.
He had some type of weapon to cut the head off an ostrich, which he then paraded around and waved at the senators like he was going to kill them. And they thought he was ridiculous. They were laughing at him or trying, don't laugh, you're the emperor. His main battles were, it's a battle. It's him in like full legion gear, right? He's got the breastplate and the helmet and sword and shield. He's actually left-handed, so he's and his opponent would be naked with like a trident and a net. And so his opponent gets to try and throw the net and hopefully tangle him and then stab him, but really it amounts to throw the net and miss and then dance around hoping to recover the net.
And die.
and then die. But actually, most of his opponents did not die because what would happen is first off, they didn't want to kill him or do anything because he's the emperor. It's like, if I wound him, he'll have me killed.
Mm-hmm.
If I kill him, his successor will have me killed. So I just don't please don't hurt me.
Yeah.
And Commodus would ultimately knock them down or wound them. And then and that's sort of the thing that gets reflected in the actual movie Gladiator, the thumbs up or thumbs down, kill him.
Yeah.
Though actually, in actual Roman times, it wouldn't have been a thumbs down, it would have been a thumb, it was like this, as in like slit its throat, right?
Oh, shit.
So most of the time,
was cool.
Thumbs down was like kill him.
Oh,
But it was like this versus no, let him live.
Oh, okay.
But most of the time, Commodus they yielded and he let them live. Now he did have a lot of sparring partners back home that he would practice with, and those were just slaves, and he would just totally kill them. So the people of Rome had sort of a love-hate relationship going on here. On the one hand, the Roman welfare state, he's throwing money at the whole thing, and very big spending, on this welfare, bread and circuses.
Dude.
So they're like that's cool. But on the other hand, he's fighting in the arena, and to them that's not cool because this guy's our emperor. He should not be a gladiator. He should be being emperor.
Right,
he should be running the show.
He's very Donald Trump.
That's very it'd be like the emperor has gone off. It'd be as if the president went off to run host a reality show during his presidency,
Exactly.
and is just ignoring stuff.
Or run his real estate empire.
Right. He actually, when he would fight in the arena, he would actually charge the public treasury a fee, like I appear in the arena, give me money, right? And it was actually a substantial amount of money. It was actually part of the reason that he was totally wrecking the economy, is just spending like crazy.
Did he draw the crowds?
He absolutely draw the crowds.
Oh yeah, man. I want to see Obama punch a lion, punch a giraffe.
So the lower classes they liked him on the one hand, they didn't like him on the others. The senatorial class hated him, of course, because he's this disrespectful gladiator. Also because he's taxing the shit out of them. Really, sock to the rich sort of stuff. I lost my place.
Drink.
Yeah.
Drink.
So the senatorial class, they're like, or the other people that really liked him, are the legions. In particular, the Praetorian Guard, who they're like the SS, or the Secret Service of the Roman Empire. They're there to protect him, and he gives them. There's some Latin word for it. I have no idea, but it's a bonus essentially. He's constantly throwing money at them, keeping them happy. So the senators, they're all like, we got to get rid of this guy. Okay, so they start forming their own conspiracies to assassinate him, and several of these get discovered. He gets paranoid. He decides he's not going to live in Rome anymore. He moves to his villa, in scenic Italian countryside. On the one hand, emperors didn't often spend time in Rome because they were off fighting with the legions. But in his case, he's not doing that. He's just at his vacation home, fighting and whoring, and Rome is sort of going to shit. Several times he debases the currency, which in those days was literally meaning like, this coin used to be 70% silver, now it's 60% silver, and that causes inflation, but this is the Roman era and we have no idea what inflation is, so suddenly everything's more expensive and we don't know why, so I guess we print even more money, and now we've just fucked ourselves again. So the economy is declining, it's going down, the senators are being taxed to sort of keep up with things, he's just off doing nothing. They're like, we gotta do something, we gotta assassinate this guy. They start forming conspiracies, the first one gets discovered, some senators get killed. That's the point where he's like, I'm bailing, I'm going to my villa and hanging out there because it's safer. They form more conspiracies in the Italian countryside, wherever, away from Rome, but not super far.
Mm-hmm.
They form more conspiracies. Those keep going wrong. He starts cracking down more on the senators in response to all these plots to kill him. And it starts to become true tyranny, where he's just, whoever seems like they're bad, I'm going after now. Any rumors of anything. There was one point where a couple of senators, it's like these two senators, he comes in whatever, and, you guys, you're not actually involved in any plots. I haven't even heard of rumors that you're involved in any plots, but I'm about to pass this law, and I know you're not going to like it, so I'm just going to kill you now. Okay, that solved that. Perfect, and you have them killed.
Wow.
Cool.
How many?
So that was like a couple senators, but lots of parts of the senatorial families are being killed off in these purges that he's enacting in response to these conspiracies. So at some point, it's actually New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve 192 AD, I believe. So going into 193. He's announced.
New Year's Eve.
He's announced. Oh. The other thing before I get to that. He's also, his megalomania and narcissism as it goes along.
Years ago.
He is starting to spiral out of control. He is, at some point, part of, this is late in his reign, like 191, 192. Part of Rome burns. There's fire destroys part of the city. He decides to take that opportunity to rechristen that as to name everything after himself.
Put her under this blankie.
He's taken on a bunch of names at this point.
Sorry, hon.
And these would actually be appellations, like if you were Nick the Great or Tom the Wise.
Not like the mountains, the Appalachians.
Well, that they may have the same root word. Teresa the Cool. The Cool would be your appellation, right? So he's got names like he's Commodus, Herculeus, Invictus, Augustus, Supremus, Big Dickus, whatever. Right? He's got like 12 names like that. So when Rome burns, he rechristens the city as, like Commodus City or Commopolis or something. He renames it the Commodus Empire. The legions are now the Commodai Army or something.
So the Roman Emperor was the Commodan Empire?
But that's what he called himself.
God damn.
The fleet that carried grain from Egypt to Rome is now the Commodus Superfleet.
Commodores come from.
Yeah.
No. Commodus Superfleet.
It's something in Latin, right? It's Commodus Africanus, whatever.
Yeah,
The 12 names of the month, or of the 12 months of the year, rather, he changes to his 12 names.
No.
So,
God damn.
At this point, the senator's like, he's gone off the deep end. He's decided, New Year's Day, 193, I'm going to massacre this family as part of the whole, the senatorial family, as part of the whole rechristening of the new Commodus Empire that is all super and awesome. And they're like, okay, we got to stop this. They start a conspiracy. On the night of New Year's Eve, they get his favorite concubine to poison his wine, to kill him. He drinks the poison wine, but he doesn't die. He throws up most of it. He's sick. And he's lying in his bedchamber. I'm so sick. I'm dying. And the concubine goes out, well, that didn't work, guys. Now what? And they're like, well, fuck, we got to kill him. They've enlisted his wrestling sparring partner. In addition to all the people he killed, he also wrestles, and that guy lives, so he's got a wrestling sparring partner that's alive. And they say, oh, go into his bedchamber and strangle him. So he goes in there, and in the wee hours of 193, New Year's Day, he strangles Commodus to death.
Cool.
Commodus is killed. And that could be the end of our story, and we could all live happily ever after. The Senate is like, oh, good, we got rid of that idiot. But this is where the really fun bonus part comes in. So they've got, the Senate was all ready with a new guy to take over. They vote in this guy, Pertinax or something like that. He is emperor. He's an actual adult. He looks at the situation. He says, well, the empire is hemorrhaging money, so I got to sort of cut back on this welfare and all these bonuses to the legions. I sort of got to get calmed down. He lasts about 3 months. And the Praetorian Guard finally comes to him and was like, we liked getting paid bonus money a lot, and you're not doing that, so we're going to replace you. And they kill him. And there is his bodyguards, right? So no one's stopping them. They cut his head off. They put it on a pike. They go to his father-in-law's house. I forget his father-in-law's name, Sepulchicus or something in Latin. And they're like, they've got this dude's head on a stick, right? And they're like, yeah, we've killed him. You're next in the line to be emperor. But you know what? We really like money. So we're going to back for emperor whoever pays us the most. And they make this announcement. It goes out through the city. And
no way.
This other senator named Didius Julius, which is a great name.
Didius Julius.
Right? In Latin, you can pronounce that way.
That's the double J.
Yeah.
He's like, he's some fat rich fuck, whatever. He's useless, but he's got a bunch of sycophants who are like, hey, you're rich and have other qualities. I don't know. You could be emperor. He's like, yeah, I could. All right. And he goes over to where the Praetorian Guard is, talking to this other guy, and he's like, hey, I don't know how much money, I will pay you, whatever, 2,000 denarii each, or whatever the amounts are. And the other guy's like, I'll pay you, no, that was empty.
Okay.
I'll pay you 2,500, what are we doing here? And, Didius Julius, I'll pay you 3,000. It turns into an actual auction. Didius Julius wins, ultimately, with the highest bid. The Praetorian Guard backs him. But literally, the Roman Empire is sold at auction by the Praetorian Guard. Well, Didius Julius, he's technically emperor. He lasts about 2 months. Around the empire, generals are hearing about this. They're in command of legions on the borders, and they're like, they hear about this, and they're like, oh, hell no. The empire doesn't get sold at auction. That's bullshit. You know what? I'd be a better emperor. Let's go straighten this out. They march on Rome. One gets there first. The Praetorian Guard at that point are like, yeah, we're outnumbered. Also, we don't actually like you, Didius Julius, and we kind of feel bad about, disgracing the empire by selling it. So you're on your own. And he's abandoned, and the Praetorian Guard gets forgiven. He gets killed. Another guy becomes emperor. But other guys have already declared themselves emperor. Their legions are marching. It's a civil war. Ultimately, Septimus Severus is able to take charge. He becomes emperor for a few years. But, his son takes charge, and his son is a fuck up. And someone else is like, oh, I could replace him. And this continues. It's now a cycle. Anytime an emperor looks weak, some general senses an opportunity. He's like, hey, legion, let's go make me emperor, and I'll give you a bonus. And the legions are acting almost like mercenaries at this point, being paid out of the imperial treasury.
There's no loyalty.
There's like a century of this. There was a period of about 50 years where there are 30 different emperors.
No,
which is more than they're changing more often than every less than 2 years is their reign, right? Which is faster than the U.S. changes presidents. And our presidents are changed by election. These guys are changed by a battle in which
Fire.
Right.
the loser is
Beheading.
killed and beheaded. By the end of the 3rd century, the empire is a shadow of its former self. During the Pax Romana,
Don't look over there.
these trade routes got built. Roman roads connecting to ports in the Mediterranean, and they had this complex, interconnected economy. We make clay in Asia Minor and ship it to France to put the wine in. We mine silver in Spain and ship that to silver workers in Greece. Grain from the Black Sea and Egypt gets shipped to all the major cities around the Mediterranean. It's this whole interconnected network that all the warfare has destroyed. And there's actually, by the end of the 3rd century, there's an exodus from the cities. As people are like, there's no food left, there's no food coming in. They go out to the rich landowners and they're like, can I farm on your land? And because there's no food, and the rich landowners are like, sure, you farm on my land and you give me some of it, and that'll be cool. And also I kind of partially own you now. It's the beginning of serfdom. It's the beginning of the feudal system. So,
It's okay, Gooba.
the Roman historians at the time, whiskey! The Roman historians at the time would say,
He's so chill.
the way they recorded it, that they said Commodus inherited an empire of gold, and he left an empire of iron and rust. Now, of course, modern historians will point out there's a lot of complex reasons why the empire collapsed, and they're all interwoven, and you can't really point to one thing. But when they talk about the height of the Roman Empire and the Pax Romana, they'll give. There's debate about when it began, when it ended, the exact dates. You can't really say, but often the date it ends is 180 AD, when, rather than a statesman, someone with experience, someone competent becoming the emperor, we decide to go with this idiot man-child. And that's the story of Emperor Commodus.
Very nice.
Story of the fall of
Okay.
the Roman. You guys and Christina and some guys.
That's all you need.
Carla and
Yeah,
Justinian.
her crazy friends who she goes out clubbing with.
My
Hi.
cousins.
I'm Renee Strauss. And today, we're going to talk about...
The clitoris.
You're ruining my line!
That's the only line that has to be perfect.
Silence! Silence from the
You
peanut
have to do
gallery.
the line over
No,
again.
this is what I've learned
Wait, wait.
throughout history is that you have to tell the story, and you have to be drunk, and you also ideally have to provide actual dialogue
Yeah.
for the people. That's important. You may now start over.
All right.
Are you ready?
We take.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm Renee Strauss.
Don't go in my mouth again.
And today we're gonna talk
You have
about
to start it over again.
Okay. Dog, you're ruining
This is for the camera.
this? Dog. Go away.
But he's fine
He's
now.
good. Just don't lick her.
Okay. Okay.
Dogs do interrupt often in the show too.
Hi. I'm Renee Strauss. And today we're going to talk about Jean de Clisson.
Oh God.
That's perfect.
Just
Keep
right
going.
what we cut.
I'm gonna get a blanket for bones.
You know, she has to not miss this.
No, it's fine.
It's a blanket. Jess has a blanket. Yeehaw. Hey, Teresa.
Whiskey!
Chaos.
Come here, Gooba.
Yeah, we're gonna. Hey,
Whiskey!
Hey,
we're gonna have a long night if you're barking at
Come
a.
here.
all of the
Come
fireworks.
here, bones. Come here, bones. No, not you. Beef.
Lemon.
Yep, beef is taking it.
Beef is fine.
Bonus.
Bonus.
Okay, we're hearing about
Jean de
Get him.
Clisson.
Get away.
Jean de Clisson
Jean de Clisson.
was born in France in 1300.
Hmm.
Exactly.
So this is old.
At the ripe old age of 12.
He was born at 12.
She was married.
She was born at 12. Okay, wait. She
At
was
the
married.
ripe old age.
In
That is quite old.
1312, at the ripe old age of 12, she was married
Come on, Blue.
to this dude named Joffrey.
She got
Oh, no.
married to Joffrey at 12.
Joffrey.
Fucking A.
Well, there we go.
She had 2 children. And then she had another child, except this other child was out of wedlock because it was not of Joffrey. Apparently.
Aw, she
Still
was a
counts.
slut.
Still counts.
I don't, accounts differ.
2 children and a bastard.
And then like this out of wedlock child was apparently with this guy named Olivier de Clisson.
Oh.
Right? Right. When she was 26, Joffrey died. When she was 28, she got married to another guy named Guy.
Aw.
But then, like, within 2 years, the Pope came along and he was like, no, I don't think this is right. And he annulled the marriage.
Oh, the Pope.
And then, like, that same year,
Snapped it down.
Wait,
that same year, marries Olivier de Clisson.
The Pope?
Yeah.
wait, the Pope, that's throwing me off. Was she famous?
No.
And why would the Pope care?
Who? I don't
Okay.
Okay.
know. History.
Okay. There's only like 6 people in
She
the
was
1300s.
of some, like, noble house. Oh, she was
The
born.
Pope does it, but like someone like
She
Oh.
was born Jean-Louise de Bellevue of some noble house.
Okay, so she was noble. Okay, and that makes sense. Yeah, the Pope would say
She wasn't just some, like, random broad who married rich dudes.
Okay.
She was, like, some random rich chick who married rich dudes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Right? Dog,
Bozo.
get out.
Come on.
Come here.
that's when it comes back to the person being interviewed. Dog.
Get out. So she's 30 years old.
Bozo?
She's married to Olivier de Clisson.
Clisson.
Clisson! In 1330 because she was conveniently born in 1300, so all the ages match up. That's nice.
Yeah, I fucking couldn't remember the dates.
She has four more children with Olivier de Clisson because the first one was had like earlier. Right, whatever.
So this is 8. 7 total? 7 total. 3,
Forgot about
2 from the
that.
first,
Yes.
1 bastard,
One.
4 additional.
I forgot about the
Five
biking story.
total
She
with
bikes
Clisson.
like 500 kilometers to do something awesome too. Sorry, I forgot about that. It was so awesome.
She did that.
By all accounts, her marriage to
Clisson.
marriage to
Say it.
Olivier de Clisson
There it is.
was as happy as a marriage could be in the 1300s amongst people with money. Like bliss, marital bliss
Like
No,
warm
of
of
water.
a rich
Warm water
person's
when
type.
you bath kind of marriage.
Yes, good marriage.
Damn.
It's like 1330, I don't know, 1337-ish. The 100 Years' War begins.
Uh-oh.
This
Oh.
war seems to be about who gets to be the next French king. The war is amongst the French and the English. I'm not sure why the English have a say in who gets to be the next French king, but they do.
The French and English
So-
marry a lot, so.
Sure.
It was Mary Habsburg.
Yeah.
The Clisons side with the French because they are French. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Clisson.
All right, Clisons, a lot. The French, we are with you. French word, the French.
How did my face?
Olivier is defending some castle, loses. Is captured by the
Oh,
English.
Wasn't Clisson.
Is captured by the English. The English trade him back to the French for some French prisoner of war who is English. Make a trade. But like the trade is like cheap for some reason. And the English are like, we suspect that maybe Olivier has joined the English and is now traitorous. So they declare him a traitor. But I don't know, like that doesn't stick or something. Because at some point later, it's now 1343. It's 1343, and there's a truce. There is a truce between the English and the French, and there is a tournament occurring in Paris. And Olivier and all of these other lords are invited to the tournament. And so they go to the tournament. And then the French descend and arrest Olivier under like treasonous pretenses. And then they try him. And then they execute him. And like
de Clisson.
Olivier de Clisson is executed by beheading by axe.
That happens.
That's
Right?
the man right there.
And
That's a
the
French
nobility of France is shocked because like beheading and then like the displaying of body parts, like that's for poor people. And you
Yeah.
did this to a nobleman.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
So not Game of Thrones.
Well, probably what Game of Thrones is based on, maybe.
Joffrey's a douche.
So like, so his head was taken and displayed above the gate on a pike, the gate of some town or the other, I don't know, whatever. And like, so Jean takes her 2 young sons,
It's okay, Mom.
her 2 young Clisson sons, because I think the rest of them were daughters, whatever.
I think it's really scared.
Takes her 2 young sons and goes to this gate. And she's like, you French bastards, we were on your side, and you killed my husband. This is murder. Vengeance will be mine.
No shit.
So, not Olivier, he's dead. So, Jean de Clisson sells everything she has. Sells the castles, sells the Clisson land, sells her jewels, sells everything. Buys 3 humongous ships, paints them black, dyes the
Fucking pirate.
sails red,
I actually know this story.
becomes a pirate.
Damn.
Her flagship is called My Revenge or My Vengeance, depending upon your French
That's nice.
translation.
Cool.
Flagship called My Revenge. She begins
Bonus.
She begins attacking
Scared.
French ships, French towns on the coast. And every time she does so, every time they attack and they capture prisoners, she goes in with her axe, personally beheads all of the high-value prisoners, all of the leaders of these
Oh,
ships
shit.
and towns, beheads them, chooses 1 or 2 random people to survive.
Damn.
Everyone else is killed. Wreaks havoc up and down the English Channel. The English love her.
Mm.
13 years she spends pirating the English Channel,
That is fucking cool.
ruining the French. Even after the King of France, who ordered her husband's death, is dead, continues
Here's the curtain so they can't see.
killing things up and down the coast. This all started when she was 43 years old. So 13 years later, she's 56. It's 1356. She decides, maybe I'll retire. Maybe I'm done with all this pirating. And nobody was able to catch her. She and her Black Fleet, they called them the Black Fleet, wrecking havoc.
Cool. Noir.
She marries Sir something Bentley, who's an Englishman.
They create a cool car.
Yeah.
In the future.
Marries him
Time travel.
in 1356. Retires to a castle on the coast of France because England controls the coast of France in Brittany. Dies finally at the age of 59, peacefully in her castle, having pirated for 13 years as revenge for the death of her husband.
For 1300.
That's awesome.
And that is the story of the Lioness of Brittany.
Cool.
Tom, then.
Oh,
No vertical video.
What?
Horizontal video.
What?
No,
That's boring.
Yeah.
No way.
This is bullshit.
Fuck it, I'm rioting against that shit.
Yeah, he did it correctly because Tom is an IT person and he knows better.
Why can't you do it that way?
Because it's stupid and wrong.
But why is it stupid and wrong?
Play
I
the
want
video-
answers, not just
When you
bullshit.
play the video, it makes it smaller because video
Think
is
about
portrayed
that.
in letterbox.
Think about YouTube,
Okay.
man. Think about YouTube.
All right, okay, I get it now.
No, think about YouTube.
I get it now. Now that I am educated, now that I know, I will use it this way. I just didn't want to go with blind faith. I was like, fucking A, tell me why this is wrong.
I'm not stopping until you've thought about YouTube, though. Just think about it and however you want to think. I don't know.
I'm thinking about it right now, Sean.
Very good. Go.
There we go.
Only phones are up and down.
You know what's awesome? I've been recording that the whole time.
That's a great conversation.
I started recording.
I'm ready.
That's fucking funny. All right, Tom, begin. That's your. All right, and
Thomas.
go.
Hello, I'm Tom Kern, and I'm here to tell you tonight about the legend that is Admiral Grace Hopper.
Grace Hopper?
Admiral Grace Hopper.
Oh, fucking A, awesome.
Admiral Grace Hopper is the godmother of all computers. So back in World War II, actually before World War II, the tables the Army used to tell you where a artillery shell would land were calculated by hand. So the soldiers that they would be firing artillery would have to do these calculations. So when the Germans attacked and we were in
Okay, wait,
North
stop.
Africa,
Tom, you need alcohol in your hand, not water.
I'm not drinking it.
Just saying.
This is,
Okay, you're good. Okay, never mind. Okay, keep
You
going.
want to just hold? some
Just
alcohol?
hold a beer or
Just have it
something.
held?
Hold the Mike's Hard Lemonade.
If you like.
yeah.
I just,
I'll
I'm
hold.
offering.
I'm sorry. I just, keeping it real.
So we go into World War II and we're using all of this artillery we haven't used in years, and they're like, shit, we have to do all this math and we just can't fire like we need to.
Uh-huh.
So back in the States, the War Department says, okay, well, we'll do all the math for the soldiers. So as a part of the kind of the buildup of the Department of Defense, they start hiring all these women to do the math, do the trajectories, and temperature, humidity, and all this. They call these women computers because they're computing all the trajectories, and the British do it, and eventually the Free French, and we win the war. So one of the original purposes of ENIAC was to calculate these tables. Grace Hopper was one of these computers, and she got hired on after the war to be an ENIAC operator. So one night she's there doing her thing in the ENIAC, and ENIAC is, one of these legendary computers that's the size of house. It's giant. And, shit's not working right. And, Grace Hopper's a pretty smart little cookie, and she's like, what the shit? Why is this not working? So she starts climbing through this machine. And I do mean climb, because, again, it's the size of a refrigerator. So back in those days, the bits of the computer that actually worked were basically giant light bulbs, and they were mechanical relays. And she's climbing through this, and finally she finds where Moth has gotten stuck in one of the mechanical relays, causing the calculations to not be right because this one bit can't happen. So she removes the Moth, she reruns the calculations, and lo and behold, it's right. So that is where we get a term, a bug in the program. For her work on this,
Sweet.
Grace Hopper is promoted and she becomes a director of something or another and goes to work in private industry. So she leaves the DoD and goes reserves. So she's attached to the Navy at this point. She is picked up by IBM in Rochester, up in New York, and she creates the first really kind of general purpose business computer language. COBOL, or is one of the inventors of it, or one of the co-developers of it. And, she brings it back to the DoD when she's doing her Navy thing. Admiral Grace Hopper is so important. She is the first female flag officer in the United States. And she beats the Army and Air Force by a solid 20 years. And that ladies and gentlemen, is Admiral Grace Hopper, the godmother of all IT nerds, which is why I'm wearing my XKCD shirt tonight.
Woo!
Sweet.
Yeah.
My grandfather
Woo!
worked on the crazy supercomputers for Lockheed Martin, and he has a story about pulling an actual mouse out of a computer.
That's so crazy. I would never have like known it was an actual physical bug.
We have physical bugs today.
Yeah. That's
So we have
Dun, 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 dun.